Greetings and welcome to Energize You TV, Season 7, Episode number 3. Are you ready to own your energy and take radical responsibility for the life you've created? You know, science shows us that avoiding accountability keeps your nervous system in stress mode, blocking joy, healing, and momentum. I don't want that for you. So that's why today, our energy and what we're going to talk about is the power of radical accountability, from excuse to empowerment. And of course, we're going to be, and the theme is radical accountability. And we take that every week. We take from the Ignite book, which is raise your energy in 30 seconds or less, naturally, with more energy, joy, and abundance. Get your copy. Come with us because you can. Come with us. And I'll sign it and you come with us every week. It's very exciting. But you know it's more exciting? I'm so excited you're here, so thank you so much for being here. Is that this week in the wisdom segment, which is later on, I am thrilled to shine a light on the radiant soul and fellow lightworker, my dear friend, Wendy. She's going to be coming on, and she is a gifted elite empowerment coach who helps women reclaim their strength, confidence, and sensibility. And sensitivity, you know, elephant in the room sometimes. So, okay. They can boldly design a life that truly lights them up. She brings fierce love, wisdom, and a no-fluff approach to transformation. In this episode, we're not just talking, we're shifting. These are going to be writer-downers. So take in a big, deep breath. And as you take that deep breath, let's just align that vagus nerve. So you're right here with me right now. And we're ready for Wendy to come on also later on. But you know what? There's even more to come. And yes, there's the exciting crystal connection segment, which everybody seems to just love, where you learn a crystal and the mineral and the element within you. Also, there's the energy awareness segment, which everybody loves to understand really more about energy. And then there's the Reiki for Life segment. That is always a wonderful thing. So to really the healing and using the ancient art and the science of Reiki. Many love this one, which is the energy healing and reset segment. So we're going to experience that. And that's that positive flow in 30 seconds or less, like my book that says it right there. And then, of course, there's the personal calibration transmission at the end of the show that will go in, and we're going to uplift your joy and also expand abundance and restore that biofield coherence. So good stuff coming up. Let's just take a drink of water. Everybody take a deep breath. Why do I do this? I am the breath pusher, water pusher. I can see my guest is even taking drinks. Thank you, everybody. You got your chat fingers on and coming in. I just love that if you ever miss, you can always come and see me on Facebook in the morning, the Facebook stories and the Instagram stories, because I'm there for you, reminding you to breathe and to take your water. Because you know what? There's so many people out there stuck, isn't there? You know, and they're wanting to find their spiritual answers and their self-care. And you know, that's what I've done for over 30 years, is to help with understanding your energy, your spirituality, and awakening to that energy. So go ahead and share this out, because just go ahead and be kind, because I know you love to be kind and do that, because people want to get unstuck. So go ahead and throw it out there. So here we go. Let's just dive right into the energy awareness, because I think that this is going to be so powerful, because we want to raise, and you know, everything is energy, right? Everything is energy. And science is telling us that. And it's not just random, is it? It's always moving, shifting, and responding to what we think, feel, and intend. And, you know, scientists, just like who? Yeah, Albert Einstein, he says, and he taught that everything in the universe is connected through energy. Everything we can't see with our eyes. And he taught that the universe is interconnected. And have you ever walked into a room and your stomach drops? And then you go, holy moly, and it gets heavy? That's energy. Or maybe you say, hey, Wendy, 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 hey, Wendy. And all of a sudden she calls and you're not even talking. You're just saying out loud and she calls you. That's vibration. That's feeling. And that is created what? Yes, through the heart, immense, and magnetic field. A frequency carries information. And it creates a measurable magnetic field that projects beyond the body. That magnetic field is an energy. And that energy is frequency. And all frequency carries information. Inside and around your body is called the biofield. Now, it's like your own energy bubble. While the term biofield might sound a little woo-woo, but you know what? Even in an aura, this aura photo shows that you have a biofield, that you're emitting vibrational frequency. So that could even be woo-woo also, right? But the thing is what? It is simply an energetic and electrical magnetic field produced by the movement of all your ions. And what else? All your cells, your thoughts, your emotions, how you feel, and even the excitement or the stress that you're under. They can all show up in your biofield or your aura. That's what you're feeling. That's energy. And that's what you're sensing. So I always like to show this chart, because this chart of your emotional vibrational frequency chart shows you that when you're in shame, blame, guilt, fear, trying too hard, coulda, shoulda, you're in lower vibration. But when you bring up that frequency into that love, acceptance, joy, gratitude, appreciation, peace, and connection, or compassion, what happens? You raise your vibration. And people will ask me, Angel, I feel like I see you all the time, and I know you're diagnosed with lupus, fibromyalgia, arthritis, Sjogren's, neuropathy in my hands and feet, Epstein-Barr syndrome, autoimmune. I'm in chronic pain all the time. How are you in such a good place, vibrationing and smiling and beaming? That's taking care of being in appreciation and gratitude. So being in that, and that goes right into my special work that I do. And the special work that I do is the event conductor for, the energy conductor for events, because that is, because of the conducting the energy, just like a music conductor, just like leading an orchestra. I work with the invisible energy field of people, spaces, and the event, tuning and guiding that energy to so it flows in the best way it can. But guess what? Yeah, guess what? You are an energy conductor too, each and every one of you. Because why? You move energy, you balance it, you're managing it. Most importantly, you change the form of it. That's powerful. That is so powerful. It's just like it says here, pure energy elevates, isn't accidental, right? It's, there's the timer to drink water. It conducts, calibrates, and amplifies your intention. Let me turn that off, because that's what it does. And it's energy creation. So that's what I do at events. I love doing that at events and holding space, clearing out energies. It's a beautiful thing. So I love this one too. You don't need to find your light. You're already wired for it. You just need to flip the switch. Yeah, flipping the switch, but really what is it? It is igniting that, because it's inside. So let's ignite it today. We're going to ignite it with a beautiful Wendy today, and how we're going to step into that energy. But I promised you the next segment, and the next segment is the 30-second. Take your breath, 30 seconds for you to practice tuning into the energy. Just like a conductor tuning into an instrument. You're going to turn into that. So take a deep breath. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate you. Take a deep breath, and let's take a moment and remove and release and let go of any and all energies. Just take your hands and do this, and let's remove and release any energies And now I want you to take this 30 seconds and take a deep breath and imagine you are clearing and cleansing the energy field of any and all energies that are not serving you. Go ahead, clear, clear, clear. And now let's open. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Open to these messages that you're going to, because this is going to be a quantum leap for you. A writer downers with them too, with our vibration as we bring in the alignment of the higher power, of the wisdom, the information and the knowledge that you want so much to really be connected to that vibrational field, to the universe. There you go. There you go. How do you feel? Take another deep breath. Beautiful. Now, you know what? Last week we talked about the alignment code, about how important water, breathing, cut and release, ground, and protection. Check it out last week if you missed the show, because we talked about that, but it goes right in line with doing this 30 seconds or less. So I hope you check it out. So let's move on to the next segment, because I promised you the next segment is the Reiki for Life segment. Now, this Reiki for Life segment is all about understanding and learning where you're at. But you know what? Here is the biggest question that I get asked about Reiki this week. Yes, can Reiki really help with emotional healing, or is it just a physical, or is it just for physical pain? Many people think that it is just for physical pain, but it is not. It is not just for physical pain. It is for all kinds of others. So it's a really good question. So here we go. It supports both profoundly, right? It really does. And how it does that? How it does that is, let's break it down. Because I've been doing this for almost 30 years. Let's break it down. It's just not energy work. It's emotional regulation, energetic hygiene, and a nervous system support, all in one. While many people first come to Reiki because of the pain, that's usually when they reach out, often surprised on how much it can open up your emotions and help you to break down other things in your body. So emotions are energy, right? It's just energy. So knowing that it's just energy, that it can unveil grief, burden, anger, unsolved fear. It doesn't just vanish. You live in your body, and you know what? I always say this. You had issues in your tissues, and that is that frequency of stuck, fear, overwhelm, things that happened to us in our past. And that's what Reiki helps with, is it helps with clearing and cleansing that energy. And it's just like stillness isn't lazy. It's sacred. Reiki gives your nervous system permission to finally exhale with it, right? And let's jump back. The very space around you and through us is stored energy imprints. And those are codes. And that's where Reiki comes in. During a session, I'm not just, there we go. I'm not just hovering over your body. I'm tuning to the language of your field. Through this gentle yet precious method, I help you release what's stuck. And often before the mind catches up in the conscious mind. So here's what it might look like. A client comes in and they lay down fully clothed, and they may walk away with waves of clarity. But sometimes they have tears. Sometimes they want to scream. And it's relieving that energy. Another feels soft warmth at the heart and later realizes that they're holding heartbreak for years. Another person told me that during a session, they felt like they were sleeping soundly, but first they were sleeping through it, but then they realized later, the first time in weeks, they actually slept afterwards. So Reiki gently guides your system back to coherence, where emotional knocks begin to untangle and the body starts to trust again. Breathe into that, because that's why it is not just fixing you. It's about creating space to breathe, to release, come back to alignment. So when you're ready and you're wanting to get feeling stuck, shattered, or overwhelmed, emotionally raw, or just low off, maybe it's time to try to do a deeper than talk. Something meets you beyond. Sometimes like Reiki. So if you want to try it, you're ready to go. And we have Reiki shares after you become Reiki level 1, because I teach Reiki also. And then we have the beauty of the Reiki shares, and people come in and we have the energy, and we share once a month the energy of Reiki, and it's just beautiful, beautiful. So thank you so much, because if it's time for you, which I believe it might be, reach out. So let's jump into the next. Oh my gosh, I love this quote. Your energy is either aligned with your excuses or your evolution. Choose wisely. Wendy's going to be talking about that to us today. So we're getting close to that segment. But we have to be right back after this commercial message, and we'll be right back.
Traditional business cards are often lost or forgotten. This can lead to missed opportunities and wasted time and money. 𝗪𝗏 offers a unique solution. Eco-friendly paperless business cards that are easy to update and share. With our QR code, you can share your card with anyone, anytime, anywhere. It's the easiest way to share your details. Interested in getting one? Click on Get Offer and get your own digital business card today.
Fabulous. And Preston is amazing out of Canada, so reach out to him, because he will hook you up, and ask him for the discount code. Check my QR code out right now. It's going digital, everybody. It's going digital. So check that out, because you'll see how phenomenal that is, and get the angel discount right now. All right, drum roll, drum roll. We're going right into the next segment, which is the crystal segment, and today is the hematite. And I actually have hematite with me. I have some hematite. And hematite, a fun fact about that is it's a striking metallic stone. It's actually the most iron-rich material or mineral on Earth, made up of almost 70%. Wow. That's pretty cool, isn't it? It's very grounding. And I use it all the time when I have people come in for Reiki sessions, and I also do an energy healing, and I do a crystal layout. That's the one I use at the bottom of the feet to ground them. I also sleep with hematite to ground, and I take it sometimes when I'm presenting and I'm training in front of hundreds of people, because it helps to ground me with all the energy that comes out. So it helps to anchor in the earth's frequency, calms shattered energy, and it also brings clarity to your sleep. So go ahead, and that's one of those ones that I always tell people, you really need to have one of those with you, because it'll really help you to connect. And the next one is, we always talk about what? The mineral, the element, and the metal. And you know what? That's all three of them. And it's iron this week. And a fun fact about the iron is its components of Earth's core forms the red color of Mars, and is critical for both plants and animals. I mean, it is a critical one for us, because it is in the Earth's crust, and it's the fourth common and the sixth most abundant element in the universe. Sixth. Wow. It helps our blood cells. It carries oxygen throughout our body, and it improves the healthy muscles, including the protein molecules. Wow. And it also helps to improve your hormones. I hear you that way. Why does it matter? Why does it really matter? It's because low iron, low oxygen, low energy. When your cells aren't oxygenized, your entire system, body, brain, and biofield can feel depleted. And remember that you can get it also from your foods. So make sure that you're eating the right food: pumpkin seeds, quinoa, beef liver, chicken, turkey. Just check it out. And you know what? Replenishing iron is not just physical, it's energetic. So make sure that you're connecting and doing that, because it will help you to have more. So that is about the beauty of the It's the beauty of the iron and the hematite. So get yours today. We're getting close to the wisdom section, getting close. But I wanted to say thank you because I see you, and it's because of you I'm reaching 3.3 million minutes viewed a month. Thank you so much. My goal is to reach out and to touch, activate, awaken, reach, and serve millions of people. So thank you for that. I appreciate you so much for being here. So let's just dive right in. We're getting close to this wonderful Wendy's coming in right now. So here we go. Let's bring her on right now. Here we go. Hello, Wendy.
Hi, Angel. So good to be here. Thank you for having me. Oh my gosh. You're just so much fun. Like seriously. I was sitting here watching you, listening to you. I'm like, no wonder people stick around and listen to you time and time again.
Thank you, Wendy. I so appreciate it. And I love what you do. And I've watched you many times on stage and other places. So please tell everybody who you are.
Well, I like to always start by saying I'm a third culture child. So what that means is, when I was very young, I was born in China and my parents moved me to Hungary where I went to school with like kids from like 20, 30 different countries. So throughout my life, I've lived in, excuse me, 4 countries over 3 continents. And now I'm in the Phoenix area of Arizona, of all places, right? But you know what? I love the desert. I think the desert is super healing. If you guys have not been here, I'm sure Angel, you can attest to that. I love the heat. I love the dry heat. And I think the desert is just beautiful. So I have a 4-year-old daughter who keeps me really, really busy when I'm not doing fitness or not doing, business stuff. I also have, see my kitty here. So he's going to pop in every once in a while. I got 2 cats and 2 dogs, and they also keep us super busy. And of course, there's my partner, my husband. And we've been here in the local area less than a year. And I would have to say that when we moved to Arizona, our lives just completely changed for the better.
Oh, fabulous. Thank you so much. And I just adore you. So I'm going to jump right in
Yeah.
because I just love this topic, which is from excuses to empowerment, that
Yes.
radical accountability. And,
Yes.
I have a quote or something that you say a lot. So let's start there is there's
Yeah.
no option other than to be okay.
Yeah. And for me, I had to learn radical accountability the hard way. I think I've been learning it since my early 20s, but I wasn't really able to culminate that or articulate that into something really succinct until the last couple years. I remember as a young adult, right? I went through what young adults consider to be really huge challenges. I went through identity crisis, a quarter life crisis, you name it, right? And among other things. And then during those dark moments, when you feel like you're in the pits, right? And you feel like you can't get out, the thing that I used to tell myself all the time was, I have to be okay. Because being in this space of darkness was not an option. I decided that I just did not want to accept that I was going to feel bad. And so, my thinking to myself was, if I can just get to the other side of this darkness, which is just being okay, then that is the only option. Staying in this darkness was not an option. So that was a start of this journey of discovering what accountability meant for me. And then later on, I was able to, as I became more emotionally and psychologically more mature, I realized part of it was also just taking accountability for what's happening in my life, right? And it was not about fault, right? It was not about whether, oh my gosh, this was like my fault. Yeah, I know my kitty's tail is cats have great energy. So I think cats are wonderful. So it was not about fault. It was not about, oh, am I the person who's wrong doing this? Or is this other person? Or was it my boss or whatever? That's not the issue. The issue is you are here now, and what you're going to do next is on you. Like, you have the power to do that. And so for me, early on, when I decided that I would not accept darkness. I would not accept sadness as an option. That's the moment of me just taking accountability for whatever I was feeling now, but also taking ownership of what I will feel and where I will be later on.
Beautiful, beautiful. And you know what you said about the setbacks and really stepping into that, it goes along with this study that came out in 1990, and a study published in the Journal of Personal and Social Psychology found that individuals who took personal responsibility for setbacks, and that's what you were saying, experienced greater long-term growth and resilience than those who blamed external factors. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's so, I love psychology because I come from a background, I've studied psychology, that's where my degrees were. And so I actually did a project when I was in graduate school around how do you gain more mental resilience? And one of the ways you do that is being able to allow yourself to go through that experience of whatever the challenging event is, but also being able to process it. I think that's the critical piece. I think a lot of us go through things in life and we just say, well, I just went through that kind of sucked, maybe it was XYZ in the environment, right? So this didn't work out, the tariffs are happening, the inflation, whatever we want to blame. But if you can go through the event and then you can look back and say, what went well and what didn't? What did I contribute and what did I not contribute? And again, this is not about dwelling on your mistakes. It's about just looking at it from a perspective of, okay, how did I contribute to my own life design? I mean, if you want to take a psychological study and apply it to people, this is how I would, be able to translate to day for people is whatever it is that you think you're going through that feels really hard, just know that there's an element where you do have power over your own situation. You may not have power over the environment, but you have power over what you're going to do next. And that's the piece where if you're able to reflect back and say, you know what, I think in that moment, I could have chosen path B. But we're not going to dwell on the fact that I didn't, but now I know that in the future, that's what I'm going to do. And that's what resilience is. It's being able to come out of, sorry, this is what happens when you're at home and you got two dogs and the doorbell rings. It's being able to go out of that situation and say, this is what I did or didn't do, but I'm going to still be gentle with myself. And this is the piece that's really critical. It's like you have to have self-compassion. I'm going to be gentle with myself and allow myself the opportunity to grow. That's what resilience really is. It's just consistently being able to bounce back. It's what you do between the space of one opportunity and the next, right?
I'm gonna interrupt for a second because I love this, but what I'd like, and it's not a but, it's an and. Can you give the viewers a little bit more of when this happens? How do they step back? How do they do this? Doable thing. How do they do and really see their lives in a different way to know how are they taking it in? Can you give something?
Yeah. So first off, I mean, we're reactive animals, right? And if we know anything about neuroscience, and I'm so grateful that we know so much more now than we ever have before, which is that when something feels threatening, right? Whether it's a disruption of whatever you're doing, like you're driving down the freeway and someone cuts you off. In that moment, it's a very threatening event, right? It's like, whoa. And that reaction right there, right, Angel, that you felt, that you are exhibiting, that's the lizard part or the animal part of your brain that says, ooh, something bad happened. You got to fight or you got to get it out of the situation. That is not the space to be doing reflection. That is not the space to be making a decision. So what I usually recommend people is, and again, I also don't want people to just kind of repress what they're feeling and say, I'm just going to go on and ignore that. Feel what you're feeling. If you're having a bad day, feel what you're feeling. You're feeling like, I'm pissed off. I'm so angry. I can't believe so-and-so said this. I can't believe my best friend would do this. Whatever it is, feel it. But then once you felt that, then say, okay, I'm going to do deep breathing exercises. right? I'm going to just do something to let that go. Like, so I want you to feel it, but I don't want you to sit in it, if that makes sense. So if you're feeling angry, don't be like, oh, I'm not angry. I'm not angry. It's like, no, I am angry. I am feeling it. Yes, I'm feeling it, but don't sit in it. Once you feel it, then you say, okay, I got to get out of this anger. So you go for a walk, you go for a run, maybe you meditate, whatever it is that lets you release that. And then you say, okay, I felt angry. What does that mean? What was the meaning behind this? Well, we know that anger usually means that a boundary has been crossed, that somebody has violated a value or something. So then you say, okay, what happened? And is my reaction just a reaction? Or is there a path forward that I can take to resolve this? And remember, allowing yourself to feel something, but then letting go of that a little bit, and then also allowing yourself to be in a space of, I can move forward. Because you don't have to be the emotion you feel. You don't have to act from the emotion you feel. But feeling it is important because the feeling is a signal to tell you what's wrong. But once you feel it, now you got to get back to this part of the brain, which is the thinking part. And the only way to do that is to cool yourself down. And this is where the stuff you do is really important.
Beautiful. I love that, how you did that, because that's exactly what it is. And what's also you're saying is do a pattern interrupt. A pattern interrupt. And for me, it's like as soon as something happens, I go to the restroom. I'm like, excuse me, and I'll go to the restroom. And then I'll just look in my eyes, me like, okay, what's really happening here? And how do I want to respond with all these people?
Yeah.
How do I want to show up? How do I really want to show up? Because nothing's permanent, right, viewers? These are
I love that. Oh my gosh, you're touching on something that I love. So I also studied Buddhism as a young adult. And one of the things that we learned is that all suffering comes from our attachment to things that we think is permanent. And so when that something is removed, we feel bad and then we suffer, right? But knowing that there's an ebb and flow of something comes and something goes. That's also the principle of yin yang, right? And to your point, yes, a lot of people say, well, that's all nice and great to be able to disrupt pattern, but what if you're in a very contentious meeting? What if you're in a conflict in the moment and you don't have the time to do that, right? And so you described it perfectly. Like sometimes if you can't, excuse yourself. And then I'll say this too. Just because I can say it very simply doesn't mean that this is easy, right? Simple is not always easy, right? It does take practice. So it takes practice to be able to exercise this in this moment when things get heated and you're feeling like just triggered all around and you're just feeling like I need to fight this person or I need to get out of this conversation. It takes practice to be able to calm yourself in the moment. And depending on the situation, who you're talking to, maybe the option is, hey, could we maybe just circle back to this conversation at a different time? I feel like we need to kind of take a break, depending who you're talking to, right? And if you can't do that, then ask questions. That is the biggest hack, if you will. I actually really don't like the word hack because we always think that we can hack everything, but it's really just a tip. Ask questions, because in the space of you asking questions, not only are you exercising the process of being curious, but as the person is explaining, you're also letting your brain calm down and you're not doing all the reactive talking. Because trust me, we've all felt this, that when you've been angry and you want to say something back, you're just like, blah, 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 blah. And then later on, you're like, oh my gosh, why did I even say that? So in the moment, if you're feeling like, how do I even talk myself out of this? Maybe you don't talk. Maybe you just ask questions. So if someone says, you know what, I just don't really like your product. I don't like your service. You know, we're a lot of us are service providers and I just don't think it's a value. And, you know, let's say someone has a lot of criticism to provide and you're feeling like triggered and you want to defend yourself. So in the moment, the best thing to do is actually ask questions. So you just reflect back. Okay, so I'm hearing you say that you're not finding value. Tell me a little more. What does that mean for you? What does value look like for you? So ask questions. Even if you don't think those questions necessarily will bring you the answers you need, it at least will buy you time and more importantly, it allows you to be more in the space of curiosity and then less in the space of reactivity.
Yeah. And people love that because then they get to talk. People love to talk. Let them
Yes.
talk and then calm you down. And it's another thing that I like that you say. Power starts with knowing what you can and cannot control.
Yes.
And you say that in your elite empowerment coaching. And
Yes.
could you give us a little bit more about maybe when you had someone come in to see you for one of your coaching and they
Yeah.
started, because I think you do packages also, and
Yes.
then they came to see you for a while. Can you tell me what shifted in that? Because this is really good action, doable stuff, viewers. I know you're loving it. Writer downers.
Yeah.
I'm going to get my mic out because I'm going to have to.
So, yeah, I have a perfect client. I mean, I never say names and I never, share any exact specific details, but I had this one client who came in and she was just hot and heavy and just like, oh, everyone here in the organization is against me. I cannot get anything done. And, everything I want to do, I'm the expert and no one respects me and things like that. And that's a really hard space to operate in. And so we did exactly that. We just went straight to the point and said, okay, what are the things that you can control and what are the things that you cannot control? And then what are the things that are in between, the space where you can influence, right? And by being able to delineate what she can and can't control, we were then able to realize that a lot of things that she was doing, the things that she was paying attention to, were all the things that she could not control. And of course, she's frustrated and feeling burned out and feeling upset and frustrated because imagine you spend all your time every day trying to change the weather, and the weather does not change. And of course, you're going to be upset, right? But if you were to focus on the things that you can change, which is, like you said earlier, I love that you remind people to drink water. Can you drink water? People underestimate the power of hydration. You know what? Neuroscientists show that the thing that helps you achieve peak performance is how much you sleep and how much you hydrate.
It's
if we have to distill to the core, if we have to distill to the core of the things that you can control and take back your power, let's look at the fundamentals. If you're not even taking care of yourself, you can't even talk about not having power over your life because you're not even taking care of yourself. Power comes from starting within. This is why I talk to a lot of women about, if you're feeling powerless, let's take a step back from whatever you're feeling powerless against and think about where you can have influence and control. Because once you can start locking in on the things that you have control over, like your health, your fitness, how you react to others, how you show up with others, then you'll finally realize that, oh, if I can center myself, that's really all I need to have power. Because that's where your confidence comes from. That's where your self-worth comes from. And if you're not feeling healthy, if you're walking around exhausted with head fog, guess what? You're not going to show up with power. It's just not going to happen. So this is why I always say power comes from knowing what you can and can't control. We think power is about aggression, about, being able to have authority over something. But really, it starts with you knowing where are you putting your focus. If you're putting your focus on external, the thing that you cannot control, of course you feel powerless. So put yourself back in the space of power by controlling what you can.
I love that because it goes right in line with understanding that the moment you stop outsourcing responsibility, you start activating your frequency of what? Freedom. And that's what all of you viewers want, is that freedom. And that's what you do on stage and then in your coaching. And
absolutely
amazing.
Thank you. And that's really my desire. If someone had to ask me, like, what is it I really want to do in life? I mean, I think I have a power to help people create awareness so that they can turn into their own self capability to create a life of their design.
Beautiful.
Right?
And you do it from the heart. That's the thing, is when I first met you, I was drawn to you because of that. And you all know, viewers, and that frequency, I just adore this lady because of what she and how she serves, but how she shows up for herself. She lives it. So
Thank you.
I apologize I interrupted, but I just had
No,
that.
no,
Yeah.
I love this. I love that you know, kind of exchange the energy with me. And the reason I bring up the life of your design is because I think so many of us feel trapped, right? And yes, there's a degree of where you were born, who are your parents, your genetics that sure you cannot change. But research also shows that most of our happiness is not even dependent on that, that we can create our own happiness. So, which to me says, if you can make a different decision and then change your life, that means you can control your life to an extent where you can design a life where you feel joy. You don't have to feel trapped, right? And this is why I say I use tough love sometimes, and I say from excuses to accountability, because people say, yeah, but, Wendy, yeah, but, Wendy, you don't know, yeah, but. It's like, I get it. I've been through stuff where I've said, yeah, but. I've been through stuff where I say, yeah, but that person is this, and therefore they're more successful than me than this. And then it's looking at myself and going, but did they also do something that I didn't that maybe made them more successful? And it's not about belittling myself. It's just being honest about like, hey, I just didn't make it. We just made different choices. And I cannot be mad at that person. I can then just maybe use that as an inspiration, like, oh, I can make a different choice. I can make a different decision to then direct my life in a different way.
Beautiful. Absolutely. And you know what? You have a free gift, and I want to bring it up now because I think that, not I think, I feel it. I know it. When you talk to this lady, it'll shift yours. So go ahead and tell us what it is right now.
Yes. So normally when people first schedule a consultation, it is a pure consultation. We talk about, okay, what is it that you're looking for, right? However, if you heard me here on Angel's amazing Energize You TV, I'll turn that into an actual coaching session. So use this link for a free, I think it's 20, whatever it is, it's 20 to 30 minutes. And if that,
Ooh, we're losing her, darn it.
it should give you the 20, 30 free coaching session. So just schedule that and just put in a note saying that you saw me on Angel's show, and we will have a free session where we can help unlock something really quick in the moment.
And see, that's what I'm saying, viewers, is she comes from the heart and she's an expert at this and been doing it. And when you watch her on stage, you get moved. So I just love that about you, and that's why you're on the show, because it's amazing. So we have one more question before we go, and not a question. You know how I am. I love these. So let's do this one from 2005. At the University of Texas showed that people who practice daily accountability journaling had significant decrease in stress hormones and improved their emotional clarity. Again, go right ahead.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a power in journaling, right? Being able, and when I say journaling, writing with hand, like don't, because I know there's programs and softwares right now where you can type it, but it's not the same.
No.
I want you to write. So writing with your hand, and the reason why that's helpful is because you can put all that swirl and your mess down on paper. And once that's on paper, you're like, oh, I don't need to accept that, right? I don't need to accept that as my truth. And I think journaling is powerful because it shows you that you don't have to believe everything you think. We have a lot of thoughts going through our head. We have intrusive thoughts, we have good thoughts, bad thoughts, and then we all of a sudden start thinking, oh my gosh, we are our thoughts. No, we're not. We are our decisions, and you do get to decide which thoughts you want to attach yourself to and not. And so that's like in a nutshell of, you know, the power of daily accountability. And the other thing is I think journaling helps because it helps you then to focus on what you really need to be doing in that day. We always have something really important. I mean, not something. We always have a long list of important things in our lives, right? I could rattle off probably 20 things that are really important to me, and we all do. However, at any given time, if the journaling, if the reflection process can help you identify 2 or 3 priorities, okay, the difference being that those are the things that are non-negotiable, It doesn't mean that the other things are not important. It just means that right now there's 2 or 3 things that are non-negotiable. Then it can help you focus and move through the day without all that overwhelm. Because guess what? If you make those 20 things your priority every single day, you have a wish list. You don't have priorities.
Oh, here we go. Bam. Jeez. That beautiful, and we're gonna end with that. Unless you have one other that you'd like to, otherwise we're gonna go into the song.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's just do it because oh my gosh, that was a mic drop. Remember, we don't want just those wish lists. So, thank you so much for being here, everybody. You viewers, to the words. I wrote this song just for you. So listen to the words and sing it out. Move it with us. Move it with us.
You got ambition, fire and soul. Look within your heart. Let your spirit flow. Ask for what you want. Show 'em what you got. Take it to the top. Don't you ever stop. Shine, shine, shine on. Raise your vibration. Shine, shine, shine on.
Woo-hoo!
Looking for the answers, seeking you will find. Open up your heart, leave it all behind. Smile and laugh, always give back. Glowing like a star, show 'em who you are. Shine, shine, shine on. Raise your vibration. Shine, shine, shine on. You're the secret, you're the answer. You know who you are. Look within you, breathe and focus. You're a shining star.
You're the shining star.
You are.
Shine on. Raise your vibration. Shine, shine, shine on.
Here we go. Here we go.
Don't you worry, don't you fake it. Be just who you are. You're the answer to the question. You're that shining star. Shine, shine, shine on. Raise your vibration. Shine, shine, shine on.
Here we go. Here we go.
Now that you can see all that you can be, breathe into your heart. Don't you ever stop. Shine,
Woo-hoo!
shine,
Thank you so much.
shine on.
I'll see you next time.
Raise your
Thank you so
vibration.
much.
Shine, shine,
Woo-hoo! One
shine
awesome.
on.
Keep shining. Keep shining. Beautiful, beautiful. Oh, could you feel that? Are you feeling that? She had some awesome golden nuggets. I know you wrote some of that stuff down, or you should have, because that was good stuff. So let's just take a moment to breathe in for a second. Whew. Where we were going now. I promised you. And I still want to say thank you because I see you. You're on the line. You're doing the chat fingers. I really appreciate you. Send this to your sister, your brother, your mama, because you know what? We all want to get unstuck and really feel this energy frequency, don't we? I know we do. So, you know what we're going to do? Oh, excuse me. Is we're going to go right into the calibration. And this is going to be beautiful. This personal calibration transmission. And if you're open to it, I'd like you to take a deep breath. And as you take a deep breath, I'm Angel Marie Monticelli, your frequency alchemist. And I want you to connect to your vibration. So take a deep breath in through your nose, out through your slit mouth. And I don't want you just to hear my words. I want you to feel my words. As this frequency comes through, I want you to start to take a deep breath. And if you're open to this transmission, this calibration, this igniting and activating this vibration, we're going to seal in all of the wonderful things that we have learned in this episode. And we're going to seal this now And we're going to ask the universe to come in, or God, however you say it, to come in and to help us with that information, that knowledge. Keep your breath as you hear my words. And that information, that wisdom and knowledge that you just got, let's transmute that into how to help you to calibrate your vibration to feel better, to have that joy, to have that communication and that connection with relationships, to how we show up and serve, our spiritual growth. Breathe it in to that beautiful spiritual growth that we have, to the wellness that we feel, the great wellness that we feel in our bodies, to the beauty of those tasks we do out throughout the day. They're so easy. They're so easy just doing those tasks. So take a deep breath. There you go. Take another deep breath. Beautiful. And as you take these deep breaths, feel this and feel the peaceful waves of energy, and imagine the universe and the limitless healing, abundance, the service, and breathe in the abundance. Breathe in all of the beautiful wealth that's around you. Breathe in financial growth. And now let's breathe in the enlightenment, awakening that inner spirit, that consciousness, the connection and alignment, and how it's calibrating your higher self. And breathe into the divine connection, that inner strength, that guidance. Breathing that in to that connection to source, to the intuition. Breathe in the wisdom, the clarity, and breathe in that awareness, that psychic sense of understanding. And as you continue to breathe in with that love, that light. Breathe in with the beauty of who you are, because you are that beauty. You are that beautiful. Breathe it in. Breathe it down to the subatomic layer, to all the cells, the cell units, to every DNA, RNA, to every system and every organ. Breathe that in as it is transmuting, calibrating. Beautiful. Take another breath. Feel my words as it all is taken care of now, as it is going down, and you can feel this beautiful divine union that you have with your God, your higher self, your universe. Breathe that in. I thank you so much for being here, listening to this, investing in yourself. Remember, it takes you to do what? Stop, breathe, and connect. There you go. Come on back over to here, because I love you so much. And I, again, want to say thank you because I see you. Thank you so much. And then I want to give you a free gift. Come and take a picture of the QR code. And I want to know your story. So come, I'm excited to get to know you. So get on my calendar. I'd love, love, love to get to know you, because it's beautiful when we connect and offer that beauty to each other. So I just love you. And you know what? I'm here every week with all this wisdom waves from amazing guests. And we're in the 7th season now. Woohoo! This isn't just a show. It's a movement. It's a global impact. It is all over the world. And you're part of that. And I want to say thank you again for being part of that. And next week, we're going to have the awesome Erin Logan Jack. She is going to be with us talking about conscious living, and I cannot wait for that either. And you know what? It was beautiful to have you here today. And remember to do what? Change your mindset, ignite your energy, and shine on. I love you so much. And remember that. And I will see you next week on the show. I'll see you later.